Hey, what's up, Solarpreneurs? Today we are going to be talking about some things you can do to get your customers bought in and enrolled in solar during the holidays. Hey, we all know it can be tough to sell. Sometimes during the holidays, people got other things going on, endless excuses to not go solar. So, how can we push them past the edge? Let's get into it. My name's Taylor Armstrong. We're here to help you close more deals, generate more leads and referrals, and hopefully have a much better time in the solar industry. Thank you for tuning into the podcast every Tuesday and Friday. And before we get started, want to apologize. We had a publishing issue with our last episode on Apple Podcasts. We're switching platforms, so I had some issues making the transition, but I think we got it ironed out now. We did publish to YouTube, so hopefully if you're not already, give us a follow on YouTube. We are trying to grow that channel as well. So today's podcast, we're recording this right during the Christmas season, during the holidays. But the good news is whenever you're listening to this, there's a lot of things you can apply really to whatever season you're selling solar in. Hey, but I know a lot of guys struggle. Sometimes I know guys that just take the whole month off. People get lazy. People are like, you know what? No one wants to talk about solar during the holidays. So I think above anything, first thing I'll mention is it's just a mindset, right? It's like if you believe that solar is going to be way harder to sell during Christmas, during Thanksgiving, during Halloween, whatever, then it probably will be, right? But if you tell yourself, and if you, I don't know, maybe come up with some affirmations around that, people want to buy from me right now. This is the best time of the year to sell solar. People have outrageously high bills right now. They need to save money. So start flipping the negative statements into positives. And I think it's probably the biggest trick that anyone could tell you is really it's just a mindset shift you got to have. You got to tell yourself that it is possible to sell solar. Okay, but once you get that little tweak in your mindset down, what are some things, what are some strategies you can implement to help yourself out, to help sell these systems a little bit easier during the holidays? Let's talk into. I've got 4 or 5 I'm going to give you, and then would love to hear your comments, your feedback. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave us a comment, or you can, send us a DM. Always trying to catch up on those. But here, the first one is you can use political deadlines. Okay, at the time of this recording, our guy Trump just got voted in the office. Whether you like him, whether you don't like him, some people say he's going to add tariffs to solar. Some people say he's going to eliminate some of the Inflation Reduction Act stuff, maybe eliminate tax credits for solar. Who knows? But hey, it doesn't hurt to just use this as ammo, as fuel for people to go solar now. Hey, I remember when I was doing solar back in 2021, right when they made the transition to net metering 3.0 here in California, where they cut the export rate by like 80%, right? It's required us to put in these batteries with the systems. And one of my big regrets probably in my solar career is that I didn't push as hard as I could have during this time of transition, right? We all knew the deadline coming up when people had to start adding batteries with their system. And I know we had guys on the podcast that took advantage of this, that blitzed insanely hard for like 3-4 months before this deadline. And the amount of money they made, amount of people they helped go solar was astonishing, right? But one of my regrets is I just worked a normal schedule. Yeah, I had weeks where I blitzed a little bit, pushed harder, but for the most part, I just worked kind of the year-round schedule that I was used to. Where if I would have went all in and just blitz mode all out for these 3-4 months, then it could have been like some of these guys that literally made $500,000 in the months leading up to the deadline. So while I'm talking about these different strategies, just whatever market you're in, if there is something like that going on where they're transitioning to a new net metering rules, I know Illinois at the time of this recording, they just had that recent transition as well. So whatever's going on, treat it as something that, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this right now. I'm going to make as much money as possible. I'm going to help as many people as I can. And I promise you will not regret it. Okay, don't be like me. Learn from my mistake. Okay, but that's the first one, is make sure you are using those political deadlines, whatever is going on politically or in the jurisdiction, wherever you're selling, use that as a reason that people should go solar now. Yes, that's number one. Number two, talk about how they can potentially get those tax credits on this year's taxes. What I mean by that is we all know there's a solar tax credit, and this is more if you're selling loans or people are buying cash. So probably a little bit market dependent. But if you have the system installed on that calendar year, then you can get the tax credits for that year. So we're in 2024. People get these systems installed by the end of 2024. They can see that tax credits when they go to file their taxes. Or if not, alternatively, they're going to have to wait an entire year to see the tax benefit. Last week I actually had a customer who he didn't want to do it. I didn't sign him, unfortunately, but so potential customer, he was thinking of not even considering solar until like February, March of next year, though. And once I told him about this, once I explained to him, hey, if you wait, you're gonna have to wait a whole extra year to get the tax benefit. All of a sudden, he's much more motivated to hopefully do it by the end of the year. Okay, and I'm not a tax professional, but from my understanding and people I've talked to that know a lot more about this, it's the system needs to be installed before the end of the year. So be careful when you're promising stuff to potential customers. You don't want to tell them, hey, sign by the end of the year, you're at the last week of December, when there's no way they're going to get installed for this year, right? So be careful. Hey, probably by the time you listen to this, might already be too late to offer this to your potential customers, but good thing to keep in mind for next year or for future urgency building. Okay, number three is just offer incentives. Tell them you got to meet end of year deadlines. I recently purchased a vehicle, which did a podcast about a few weeks ago. And I know with cars, these people, they got end of year quotas to hit, end of year deadlines. And most homeowners know, most buyers know that's when, end of year, end of month, it's just something that makes sense to them. Like we all got to meet end of year deadlines. We all got to meet end of year quotas. So use that as an opportunity to add fuel to the fire. Hey, Mr. Homeowner, I know, I get it. It's a busy time of year, but the reason why so many of your neighbors are looking into this right now is because we do have some end of year quotas that we have to meet, and there are some incentives expiring, such as much better pricing, much better savings that we're able to get everyone out here while we're helping everyone at the same time. So we'll just show you the numbers, and then you can see what the difference would be if you wanted to wait to. And if you do, no harm, no foul. But yeah, a lot of people are seeing that it's much greater savings right now. So does tomorrow at 5 o'clock work, or is 7 o'clock better? Boom. So use lines like that when you're out there setting appointments. Okay, get the bandwagon effect, drop names, use some fill, felt, found. This is why neighbors are looking into it. And I promise you, it's going to increase your likelihood to sit down with these people and have them at what your offer is. That's number three. Use incentives and use like end year quotas. Maybe you can throw in TVs. Maybe you can throw in Disneyland passes, Disney World passes. I don't know, something that people would want by the end of the year. Extra cash rebate for Christmas presents. Okay, there's always something you can throw in that's either incentive around a holiday or incentive around the end of the year. So think of ways, get creative with that, and people will be more motivated to buy, to pull the trigger. Hey, and then last but not least is just a lot of people have seen the rates go up year after year after year. I'm in Southern California. We have rate hikes all the time. But I think if you Google any utility provider almost across the country, I would say they have like yearly increases. And typically it's beginning of the year where they're going to increase their rates. So use that while you're in your appointments, selling your systems, right? Hey, Mr. Homeowner. The thing is, your utility, they have the rate increases coming. They typically happen beginning of the year every time. And I actually Googled 2 or 3 different utilities when they have plans to increase the rates. And all of them that I Googled, they all said beginning of 2025, beginning of the year. Okay, so this is something that can be extremely powerful. I actually didn't really think of this. Got this from ChatGPT, matter of fact. But great way to build that urgency, right? Because if customers know, hey, maybe they weren't super motivated to look into it, but if they know, hey, the rate's going to go up 4% beginning of the year, might make sense to beat those increases, have a locked in rate, have a predictable power bill. So, and yeah, do the same thing I did. I used ChatGPT. It can give you resources on this. Just Google it, rate increase for Tico, rate increase for SDG&E, rate increase for Edison. And almost, you're going to find that there's like news articles, press coverage of all these requested increases. Whether they happen or not, maybe they won't, but hey, almost all of them say there's requested increases that are proposed that are most likely going to go into effect. So use that when you're out there selling. Okay, so I hope these give you a few ideas while you're out there, whenever you're selling. I think there's ways you could tie this into whatever season, but specifically, we're talking end of the year. These things extremely powerful. They're things I'm doing right now to get people bought in, even while they're focused on Christmas, even while they're focused on other things. Because hey, the best Christmas present you could give someone is saving money on their power bill. Okay, so just to review, number one, use political deadlines. Number two, talk about the potential tax incentives, tax credits they could get if they do get their solar before the end of the year. Number three, offer incentives. Tell them you have to hit quotas by the end of the year. And number four, have that beat the rate hike messaging. You got to beat the beginning of the year rate hikes before they come in. So I hope these things help you. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in email or a DM if you have any other ways that help you build urgency around the holidays or around the end of the year. Would love to hear it. And thanks for tuning in. Please share this podcast with someone that is maybe having a tough time selling towards the end of the year, because nothing's worse than not having sales in your pipeline when you get around the holidays. Yeah, you want that Christmas money. As we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.